Hello everyone and welcome to the final race of the Jegs Race of Champions Season 2. Jose Perez and Lane start on pole, but those guys in the back are the ones we're looking for a championship. We're only a few seconds away from the command, so this will be quick. The points will flash up on your screen. DeLello leads by 4 over Burkhart, 5 over Nosler, 6 over Johnson, 8 over Kukulon in the fan vote, 9 over the RBS team, and 10 over Jefferson and Benyako. Galloway still mathematically in. Anderson Reed, Alex Kraft not. This is going to be a fight. 10 drivers still have a shot at winning this title. The top 6 on this grid do not. They're just racing for wins. Let's go down trackside for the commands to fire the engine in the final race of the season at Atlanta.
Drivers, start your engines.
That the engines are fired. 16 drivers, row to life. It's Perez and Lane on row 1, Yepes and Porta row 2, Kraft and Reed row 3. Yepes and Porta finished the Crown Royal Truck Series season first and second in points. Neither of them fighting for the title here. But looking at the back, Zachary DeLello is going to have to fight his way from 16th on the grid up front to try to win this championship. He does have that 4-gap lead. Remember, though, the top 6 or 7 positions do give more points between them than the back few. So it is important once we get up to the front with DeLello, Burkhart, Nosler, Johnson, Kukulon, the fan vote guy of Cordell Smith, all those guys. Those will be the drivers we're looking for to make some moves and get those points up front. There will be no speculation, or at least low speculation by me, because the points format is a bit wonky for the JROC. I will not sit here and try to tell you who won the championship without doing the math first. So 16 drivers in this grid. Jose Perez, Colton Lane leading us down. It's 49 laps at Atlanta. Last season, Blake Maurice won the race and won the title. That's what Zachary DeLello needs to do. DeLello needs to prevent Burkhart, Nosler, and Johnson from pulling so far away up front and winning the race. It is, I believe, 20 to 17 points between first and second, so I believe it's 3. I will make sure to fact check after that. But right now, DeLello, if he can finish second, he wins the title. Green flag is in the air, 49 laps at Atlanta, and we're racing in the JROC, the final race of the season. 49 laps at Atlanta last season in the CRTS. This race was very controversial. Zachary DeLello got his first win here, which is good for the drivers starting so far back in this grid. Jose Perez moves himself into the race lead as they roar down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. These cars so much faster than the trucks, though. The trucks were last season. They are already up to 185 miles per hour coming off the corner. Down the front straightaway, they're going to reach almost 200 into turn number 1, and they will. Diego Yepes reaches 200. 16 drivers fighting hard. The top 6, though, you see right here, none of these guys have a mathematical shot at the title. Jose Perez definitely not, with his 3 16th place finishes this season. Jefferson has to come in out of a long shot. He sits 10 points back on DeLello. That's DeLello finishing basically in the bottom half of the grid. Jose Perez leads lap number 2. Anderson Reed now shuffled back as Cordell Smith, and it's Carson Bowers in the fan vote car this weekend. He is trying to win the championship for the fan vote guys. Neither the RBSTS or fan vote guys have won a race this season, but both of them have been very strong. There's Austin Johnson making moves. You see DeLello, Burkhart back there. The big 4 or 5 that we'll be looking at this race. As they go 3 wide up front, that could be chaotic there with Matty Porta dropping to the back. Austin Johnson came into this race only 6 points behind DeLello. That's a pretty good margin to pick up, but as we said, with that weird points format, Austin Johnson already would be winning this title hunt. Sebastian Kukulon and the fan vote driver, which is Carson Bowers, they sit only, it looks like 8 points back on the top guys. And Kukulon, he won in the JROC last season, looking to do it again. Him and Austin Johnson, though, moving very quickly up to the front. Another driver is Kalen Nosler, has had a very strong run in the JROC this season. He is set in this 17 car. He sits 5 points behind DeLello. DeLello trying to hang on and win this. He won at Daytona. Last season, Jacob Edson won at Daytona. That didn't happen. As you see, Yepes and now Jay Jefferson are the 2 drivers up front. Zachary DeLello trying to win here at Atlanta for the 2nd time in his career. And now he is starting to move his way up. One other driver that we're looking at is the number 99. I don't know where he is. I think I passed him up. There he is. These 3 right here are big factors. Brady Burkhart sits only 4 points. He's the closest behind Zachary DeLello in this race. These guys are all trying to fight hard for the championship. It'll just be how it turns out at the end of this one. Austin Johnson, though, running very strong up here as these cars do not reach under 190 heading around this entire track. It is very fast with the speeds here, the aerodynamics, but the downforce very good and allows them to keep themselves set on track. There's Jose Perez. But Jay Jefferson, we said he came into this race 10 points back. It's doable, but not too realistic unless something major happens. Jefferson does only sit 1 point behind the RBSTS driver, that's Cordell Smith, 2 points behind Kukulon, and the fan vote driver, Carson Bowers. Both of those guys could finish up front near him, but Jay could still win this race and claim it. As long as DeLello, Burkhart, Nosler, and Johnson finish in the back half of the grid, Jefferson could win the title with a race win. So it just is however this happens. But Austin Johnson and that 3 team is really tearing up the field. The MDCS guys didn't do so hot last season. The JROC, they definitely weren't up front at the end of this one, at the end of Atlanta, because it was Blake and Diego really dominating at Atlanta. Austin Johnson up into 3rd already. He is on the hunt to the lead. So is Sebastian Kukulon. You got Kalen Nosler, Brady Burkhart, Zachary DeLello. Now Bowers drops back. He's in the same boat as Jay Jefferson. Just about. He'd have to have all those top guys finish way behind him. He's right there all right now in front of him. Alex Banyaka won at Darlington last time out. He was our last race winner, and that propelled him into a slot for a chance at the JROC Championship. He is tied with Jay Jefferson, so he is the 10-point gap that he has to make up. The final driver that is mathematically possible is pretty far back. That's Jake Galloway, your MDCS champion. He is 15 back, meaning basically the field would have to finish inverted with Jake winning the race. So Jake, very long shot, but anything can happen, especially if a big crash happens. Austin Johnson, though, in this 3, tearing his way through the field. And for certain, right now, he would be the champion. He sits 2 points ahead of Kukulon coming into this. Kukulon's pretty far back, as well as DeLello being back in 7th, Johnson being up in 3rd. And with those gaps between 1st through 6th, that would give Austin this championship as they run right now. But Jay Jefferson, he's still doing everything he can to hang on. As we said, Diego Yepes, Jose Perez, Colton Lane, those guys do not have a chance at the title. Brady Burkhart, though, moving his way towards the front, trying to get up there and win this championship. You got Kukulon, Nosler, DeLello right in the midst here. Anderson Reed cannot win the title. Jake Galloway, mathematical, probably not going to win the title. It's very unlikely that he will. Alex Kraft, Matty Porta as well cannot win the championship. Jay Jefferson to the race lead, 12 of 49 in. Now let's, instead of focusing on who's winning the championship when I don't know the points, let's take a look at this battling for the race lead. Jay Jefferson up front. Now Yepes drops back, but Jose Perez, it has been a heartbreaking JROC season. He was invited to this as one of the top rookies last season, almost won, I should say, the Rookie of the Year. It went to Paul Jackson due to Paul's extra race at Sonoma and making the chase. He had a very good season. But Jose Perez in this 35, dominant performances in some races, Chicagoland, and finally winning at Kansas in the season finale last season. Jose in this 35, it's been heartbreaking in the JROC. Already has crashed out multiple times, finished 16th, which gives you no points many times. He's right now battling for the 3rd spot. Usually in every other race, he's back already outside of the top 10, doing very strong here at Atlanta. Burkhart, Johnson now nose to tail. That is a battle right there. If Burkhart finishes ahead of Johnson, that is not how Austin will win the title. Brady right now hanging strong up front against Austin Johnson as they run. Looking at this, though, Austin Johnson has 1 win to Brady's 0 wins. That means if Austin Johnson does end up in a tiebreaker, which up front would be the distance from 3rd to 4th. If Austin finishes 3rd, Brady finishes 4th, and they tie, Austin wins it with that race win. Of course, that's how the NSDCA works. Jefferson now going up to the outside as Brady Burkhart jumps to the bottom. 16 of 49 complete here at Atlanta. We're going to go ahead, take us to a quick commercial break, and bring you back to the action. You won't miss much here in the Atlanta finale of the JROC. Back live here at Atlanta, and now that we have the points format finally in front of us, we'll go ahead and be able to make some better predictions of this. Brady Burkhart right now, though, going for the race lead. This would give him the title. He is in front of all of his competition, a bit further ahead of Zachary DeLello, as DeLello's back there just outside the top 10, or just inside the top 10. Brady would be your champion. He sits second in the grid, only 4 points behind DeLello, meaning Zachary DeLello, with how the points stand, it's a 3-point gap between first and second. So DeLello, as we said, needs to start first, or needs to finish second if they win. Austin Johnson looking to the bottom of Brady. 3 wide for the race lead. Heading into turn number 3 and 4. Austin Johnson wants a run at this title. Down to the bottom of Burkhart, and here he comes. Colton Lane, his teammate in the MDCS, moving up there with him. Burkhart and Yepes. Now Lane jumps to the inside. Colton Lane's not going to give Austin any room. Down to the inside. 3 wide for the race lead. And Austin Johnson up the middle. That is for the title right there. This would give Austin Johnson the JROC championship as they run. But here comes Kalen Nosler out of nowhere. And here's Zachary DeLello in the 57. He is up front, fighting Burkhart, Jefferson, Kukulon. Now Nosler down to the bottom on Lane. Side by side, 3 wide for the race lead. Colton Lane up front, Austin Johnson shoved back. And now Kalen Nosler has a chance at winning the JROC title. He's up in the battle, and we are just under halfway through this race. The top 5 give bonus points over each other, but the gap from 5th to 6th and on back is just 1 point between positions. Austin Johnson up front. Those 3 points for winning this race is major. He's looking to do it. He won at Auto Club earlier in this JROC season. Now to the inside of Colton Lane. That is for the lead, but look at Zachary DeLello in that 57 shooting his way up to the front. DeLello needs to finish second if Brady goes on and wins this race. However, with the gap he has, he could beat out Kalen Nosler for it. If Nosler wins the race, DeLello just has to finish third. If Austin Johnson wins this race, I should say, he needs to finish third. And rest on back, he has some more breathing room. His biggest competition, Burkhart, Nosler, and Johnson. And as Austin Johnson is going for the race lead, Zachary DeLello in the 57 has moved his way into the 3rd spot. He has won at Atlanta before. This was his first and only career win. And Zachary DeLello in the 57 is moving his way towards the front, looking to win this title. But you have 4 drivers looking for a championship that can all win it with a race win. Austin Johnson, Zachary DeLello, Nosler, and Burkhart in this battle. Here comes Jake Galloway up to help team owner Jay Jefferson, but Austin Johnson to the race lead. Here comes DeLello, 16th on the grid, looking for the race lead and to lock up his championship. Brady Burkhart in 3rd. Now Austin Johnson pulls away in that 3 on the outside line. Colton Lane, as we said, he is not a factor in the championship hunt, but he still can fight those guys at the bottom. Jose Perez, Diego Yepes, Porta, Kraft, and Reed, they cannot win the title at this race, but they can still fight amongst themselves. Austin Johnson pulls away into the race lead. No bonus points for leading laps, though, so Austin better hang on up front and try to win this one. DeLello moves into 2nd, and with that, no matter what Austin would do, if DeLello finishes 2nd, it's his title. Right now, Zachary DeLello from 16th to 2nd on the grid, 25 of 49, now 26 of 49 as they go. Jay Jefferson in the 21 back there. Drivers who it looks like will not win this title. Carson Bowers just too far back. Jose Perez, he was up in the front, battling with the top 5 all this race long, now looking to settle back into where he was before. Alex Beniaco gave a valiant effort after Darlington and Atlanta and Indianapolis, I should say, throwing himself back into the championship, but not going to happen. As well as Cordell Smith in this 0-0. Very strong, an average finish of 5th. But it's not going to happen. Sebastian Kukulon as well. The battle is going on up front. DeLello and Johnson for the race lead. You see Burkhart and Nosler. 4 of the top 5 can win the title if they can just get themselves up to the front. Austin Johnson hanging on, but Zachary DeLello hounding him in this 57. Big run from Lane and Burkhart. It looked like their nose to tail. The draft could work. You got Kalen Nosler back there in 5th. Jefferson and Galloway right behind. Carson Bowers in that 55. Might not win the title, but a race win would be very good heading into this Crown Royal Truck Series season. Now Brady Burkhart gets around Lane. A huge run. A bunch of momentum down the back as he chases down Zachary DeLello. And as they run, Zachary DeLello would lose the championship if Burkhart gets around him and Austin Johnson wins this race. Now DeLello with some momentum to the inside of Austin Johnson, looking for the race lead. 11 to go. 21 to go here at Atlanta, not 11 to go. That was my mistake, but Zachary DeLello fighting hard against Johnson. These guys could be racing like it's 11 to go. A caution comes out. The race could be changed forever. But Burkhart now on the bottom, on the back of Zachary DeLello as they go. Austin Johnson up in front trying to hang on in that number 3, but DeLello and Burkhart fight for 2nd and 3rd. Jake Galloway clear into 4th. Kalen Nosler falling back to the masses in 5th. Carson Bowers, Colton Lane, now Anderson Reed getting up into this battle. Diego Yepes, Alex Banyako dropping back. There you see Sebastian Kukulon. Looks like he's not going to be a factor. The top 3 all can finish in 1st and win this championship almost no matter how the rest happens. Burkhart now down to the bottom on Zachary DeLello. Now side by side for 2nd. This could be the championship right here if DeLello loses to Burkhart and then continues to fall back. Now Zachary in 2nd. He's hanging on. He's trying desperately to hold on to that 2nd position. Look at Jake Galloway in this 48. If he can wreck these top 3, he could win the title. But I don't think that's going to happen. Hopefully not, as Galloway sits there in the 4th position behind Burkhart and DeLello. DeLello now to the outside. Burkhart diving down to the inside. And with that, that is what Austin Johnson wants to see. Austin Johnson moves himself into the championship lead as they run right now. DeLello dropping back, looks like to 4th as Galloway and Burkhart both move around him. Colton Lane back to the inside of Carson Bowers. A very strong run for the fan vote driver today. Started pretty far back, but he's up inside the top 5. Nosler's dropped back. Looks like he is not going to be able to get himself back to the front as DeLello drops back. That puts this number 3 of Austin Johnson in the points lead, but he has Brady Burkhart in that 99 team, an MDCS championship contender versus the Crown Royal Truck Series championship contender, and Burkhart almost won the championship. Do not forget that. Austin Johnson was so close in his Mountain Dew Custom Series season, but of course the spin at Gateway lost him valuable points. DeLello with a big move back into 2nd, and that puts him back on top of the point standings. We're coming around. Going to be 10 laps to go soon enough, and these laps are winding down. Last season, we did not see a crash at Atlanta in the JROC, but we saw many in the Crown Royal Truck Series race. Now DeLello, he had to check up into 1 and 2 there. Now Galloway and Burkhart mount a charge with the draft down the back. Colton Lane's back up here. Now Burkhart, will he look 3 wide on Galloway? Shoves Galloway up the track. DeLello even wider, and there goes Brady back to the inside. Now Colton Lane in that 14 trying to help out Austin Johnson and shove that 57 further back. But here comes Bowers, here comes Nosler and Porta. That is a big draft train. DeLello needs to get down now, and that he will. Carson Bowers playing good guy right there. DeLello back to 5th, gives Austin Johnson the points lead as they run, but DeLello's not going to give up. We still have just over 15 laps to go. Austin Johnson out in front in this 3. It was a bunch of great runs this season. 2 wins in the Mountain Dew Custom Series for Mid-South Automotive. But now he's here fighting the big dogs. He's won at Auto Club. He is so far ahead of the rest of his Mountain Dew Custom Series counterparts. In 9th in points is Alex Banyako. 10th in points is that Mountain Dew Custom Series champion, Mountain Dew Custom Series champion Jake Galloway, who right now sits 2nd. Galloway bested Austin Johnson many times last season. Galloway going on to a record-setting 4 career wins in 1 season, as Austin Johnson only got 2 and missed out on the championship by just a few points. But as they run right now, Austin Johnson is looking to get the better of Jake as they run. Burkhart now down to the inside in 2nd. The gap between Burkhart and Johnson is only 2 points. The gap between 1st and 2nd in the JROC finishing results is 3 points. Burkhart needs to finish ahead of Austin Johnson if he wants to win this title. And now Burkhart clearing to 2nd. Colton Lane up into 3rd, and Zachary DeLello still there in 5th. These 3 are the duel we're watching, but Kalen Nosler, don't count him out. 5 points out heading into this one. He's still chasing down DeLello, Burkhart, and Johnson as Austin Johnson begins to pull away. The championship only 11 laps away for Austin as he heads through turns 3 and 4, just trying to hang on up front. Blake Maurice won this race. It was his second race win of the season, and he went on to win the title in the final race by winning it. Austin Johnson looking to do the same. Brady Burkhart now gets shuffled up as Colton Lane and Jake Galloway, two drivers who do not have a stake in this championship hunt. They are in this battle still trying to win this one. Carson Bowers there. DeLello now moves down to the inside of Galloway. That is for the fourth position as DeLello tries to dive in. He gets the nose under, and now using that inside line momentum, trying to get on the throttle before Galloway, but they go around. Drag race across the line. DeLello looking to take that fourth position away is Austin Johnson now starting to get reeled in by Burkhart, and there is Brady. This is the battle for the championship as they run. Johnson needs to hang on in front of Brady. He needs to win this race, and it doesn't matter what happens behind him. Now Brady in that 99. Lane is all over the back of him. Contact between the two of them as Burkhart gets shoved up the track, but he keeps his foot in it. Now looking for the crossover if he could just get around Colton Lane. Austin Johnson in the race lead. Here comes Zachary DeLello to the very bottom in that 57. Four drivers looking for the title here. Three drivers now as Anderson Reed. Here comes Jose Perez, Alex Benyako. This pack has been racing up front. The other guys coming to the rescue, coming to race as well. And here comes Kalen Nosler in the 17. Up into the 5th spot is Austin Johnson, Brady Burkhart first and second, Colton Lane in third as they run. DeLello and Nosler, 4 of the top 5 can win the title. Burkhart drops back. Colton Lane working the bottom of that 99. You gotta wonder, is AJ Jones on one of those headsets, one of those radio signals telling Lane, get up there and make this an Austin Johnson championship? He's out in front pulling away as Lane's trying to fend off Burkhart and DeLello. Now Zachary looking to the bottom. Nosler looking to the very bottom. 3 wide across the line. If they can get rid of Lane, this is 4 championship contenders right up front. Now DeLello trying to hang on over Colton Lane as Brady Burkhart now starting to reel in Austin Johnson as they have pulled away from the rest of the pack. Kalen Nosler slowed off of 1 and 2. Now Colton Lane slows. DeLello is clear from the pack. He's trying to pull away from Colton Lane, trying to get that momentum, but Lane brings it back in that 14. DeLello trying desperately to win this championship, but he can't right now as they run. Colton Lane needs to back off from him for him to have that, and Lane gets to the inside. DeLello drops back now, 4th and 5th. We're down to just inside 5 to go, but here it is. Brady Burkhart chasing down Austin Johnson in the closing laps. If Brady gets around Johnson, it's his championship to win. DeLello back to 6. That is heartbreak as Galloway, Reed, and Lane fly past him. Austin Johnson up in front. 5 laps to go at Atlanta. Brady Burkhart trying to chase him down. We have a driver who has shown speed and shown promise in this number 3 team. Now, Brady Burkhart right on the back of him. Zachary DeLello about to get passed by Jose Perez. DeLello might be out of this championship as they run now. But Austin Johnson, if he can hang on over Brady and keep DeLello at bay, Johnson will win this title. Brady Burkhart now catching him in that draft. That is the thing Brady has now is the draft, but Austin Johnson has the clean air. Burkhart with a huge momentum off of turns 1 and 2. Here he comes. DeLello has fallen victim to Jose Perez, but Brady's going to throw it in right on the back of Johnson. Battle for the race lead. It's 3 to go at Atlanta this time by. Again, Austin Johnson, he came into this race 6 points behind DeLello. As they run, though, if DeLello can finish 3rd, he will beat Johnson in the championship. Brady Burkhart has to win, and DeLello can only finish 2nd to win the title. Here comes Colton Lane right there. Zachary DeLello has fallen back. Kalen Nosler as well. DeLello's championships go up in the dust. Brady Burkhart to the inside. Johnson on the outside. Here comes Colton Lane. Burkhart tried. He tried that inside line. Johnson holds on the outside. 2 laps to go. Caution is out, and the race is over. Austin Johnson will be your JROC champion if the points have been worked out correctly, but Austin Johnson and the 3 team might have just won this title. And Jose Perez, what a fitting end to his horrible JROC season. Started on the pole pretty much every race since the beginning. Heavy damage here, and this will be his 4th 16th place finish. Alex Kraft has damage as well. Austin Johnson holds on from Brady coming off of turns 3 and 4. And he just has one lap, and it looks like he'll be the champion. Zachary DeLello ran so hard this race, just got mugged at the end. Colton Lane threw himself in there with Galloway and Benyako and told that 57 to go to the back. Kalen Nosler comes up short, but Austin Johnson, 2 points behind Brady Burkhart coming into this one, and the gap for first to second is 3 points. That means Austin Johnson in this race will win the title by 1 point over Brady as long as the car holds up. We've seen this before. Diego Yepes in Season 1 of the Mountain Dew Custom Series, his car is blown up at the beginning or at the end of the race coming across the line, and he actually won the race. The only driver in the history of the NSDCA to win the race on pit road. Austin Johnson, of course, these cars mostly equal, so they should not blow up, or they'd all blow up together. Just depends on how much he's been pushing it, but it doesn't look like it's going to cost him now. Down the back straightaway into 3, they're pacing around. Austin Johnson took the lead early on, got out and pulled away. Brady tried that desperate move into 3 and 4. I think it was because he saw those yellow lights flashing. But Austin Johnson in the number 3 is going to come out of turns 3 and 4 at Atlanta, and 2 seasons in a row, a blue car goes to victory lane and the championship. 2 wins for Austin Johnson, following exactly what Blake Maurice did last season. He will win the title. A fantastic performance by your Mountain Dew Custom Series runner-up. Austin Johnson wins the race and the JROC championship. Fantastic performance by Austin. Second win this season. Holds on over Brady Burkhart, and he has beat some of the greats of the NSDCA. Diego Yepes, Brady Burkhart, even Jake Galloway, and Zachary DeLello, all very, very strong race drivers, but Austin Johnson comes out of this with the championship. A great performance by Johnson, a fantastic showdown to the end here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and Austin Johnson comes home with the championship by 1 point over Brady Burkhart. Jose Perez, his 4th DNF or 16th place finish this season, but a very strong JROC season. We'll be back for the Crown Royal Truck Series as they come up soon for the NSDCA, as well as the Mountain Dew Custom Series and Dr. Pepper Dash Series. Thank you guys for tuning in all off-season to the JROC, and we'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.